Kill me and you already know what it is. And if you don't, pause the video right now, smash out your mind, click the video and smash that like button, man. Back with another video, back with another banger, man. But this time, we got Clive Davis, the man who made Diddy a monster.
Welcome to the most try-hard reaction on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. 3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas! This setup is extra and I love it. I'll see you in the reaction.
With the recent Diddy documentary, people have finally understood why they call him a monster. But have you ever wondered why Diddy is the way he is? What made him the menace he is known for today? His reputation might make you think he was born that way. But the truth is, monsters aren't born, they are made. Behind Diddy's disturbing behavior is the man who shaped him, industry gatekeeper Clive Davis. This evil didn't start with Diddy, it began.
So this is where it all began for Diddy. You wanted to be like Clive Davis. You wanted to be in his position and you learned from him and he taught you some things and you went crazy with it because I'm pretty sure nobody talking about shit with Clive. I'm pretty sure nobody bring up Clive Davis' name. Except for this channel right here, man. Shout out. The truth is.
Began long before he was even involved in the industry. These industry gatekeepers are groomed before they're given the keys. A tradition passed down through generations within the music industry. If you think what Diddy did was horrendous, wait until you hear about the man who shaped him.
No, his mom abused him and then started with Clive. I thought he was beating his own mom ass. I seen something in the documentary said that he would beat his own mom ass. Like, but you said his mom abused him. Damn. Let's see. We gotta see what Clive does.
Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Clive Davis, the devil who shaped Diddy. Let's get right into it. In July 1993, Sean Puff Daddy Combs was terminated from his A&R position at Uptown Records. This decision stemmed from escalating tensions with label executive Andre Harrell, who perceived Diddy as having an uncontrollable ego and excessive ambition.
Yep, I've seen that throughout the documentary too. He was like, man, Diddy started getting like this type of way, man. He had to let him go. And that shit turned him up.
Leading to a power struggle. Andre Harrell reportedly believed Diddy was attempting to take his position and acted to prevent this by who bought into his vision. After Diddy was fired from Uptown Records, he became determined to start his own label. Using the industry connections he had acquired during his time at Uptown, he found a way to arrange a meeting with legendary record executive Clive Davis, who was the founder and president of Arista Records at the time. Upon his arrival at Arista's office, Davis saw a 21-year-old Diddy as a young puppy possessing an unparalleled vision. Clive quickly became interested in him, but wasn't sure if hip-hop was really the right market for a label that was known for artists like Whitney Houston. On top of this, at the time, hip-hop hadn't really been embraced on a mainstream level. While there had been some big-name hip-hop artists, it was still being looked at as just another passing fad. During the meeting, Diddy advocated for the increased recognition of hip-hop and urged Clive to consider an investment in the genre through his endeavors. He told Davis that he wanted to make his own hip-hop label that would take hip-hop to mainstream levels and decided to play him some of the music his artist had recorded, playing him the song Flavor in Your Ear by Craig Mack and 3 unreleased Biggie songs. Despite all the reasons to turn the young Diddy down, Clive bought into his vision and struck a deal with him. Arista Records, through a collaboration with LaFace Records, provided Combs with an advance worth $1.5 million to fund the initial venture and granted him full creative control to launch his own label, Bad Boy Records.
Bro, that's crazy. Without Clive Davis, there's no Puff Daddy, there's no Sean Combs. You know what I'm saying? He gave him the opportunity. He turned that shit up bigger than Clive Davis ever had. It's crazy.
Just like that, when Diddy likely believed it was all over, not only was he back in the game, but now he had his own record label. A record label that was destined to take over hip-hop and change it forever. This pivotal meeting was instrumental in shaping Diddy's career, yet allegations suggest a darker aspect to this encounter, transforming a positive milestone into a more sinister narrative. While Clive Davis gave Diddy the world and made him a hip-hop gatekeeper, it wasn't just because he believed in Diddy. This is the music industry we're talking about. There is always a sinister price for power and success.
It's crazy how many people knew how evil Diddy was, but the hood, no snitch policy is what allowed him to get away with it for so long. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people, that no snitches, that snitches get stitches thing was really a thing, you know what I'm saying? And things could happen to you. Like, look what he did with Kid Cudi car. He blew Kid Cudi shit up, you know what I'm saying? Like, that power that he had was very hard for people to go against, especially back then if you didn't have those resources and shit. Now there's so much video and proof and evidence and shit that goes around that it's hard for people to escape these things that they were escaping in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what Diddy allegedly paid to make it to the top, and it changed him forever. For years now in the industry, there have been rumors about what really took place during this famous meeting between Diddy and Clive Davis. According to what the industry has said behind the scenes, there was way more than just music being shown to Clive Davis that day.
What?
The real reason Diddy walked out of Arista's office with a record deal was that he did a little something extra for Clive.
And it wasn't just a little piece of change, it changed his life. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. There's only evidence now because people snitch. Yeah, that no snitch policy went away, bro. You know what I mean? Probably about 10 years ago, that no snitch policy thing went right out the window for real. And it's sad because it came out on him when he felt like, you know, he was old enough to be out of the game. He felt like nobody was going to probably ever worry about this shit again. And the fact that it did happen just like that is like, damn, Diddy, he did do that shit this whole entire time. Shit's wild, man.
Claims alleging Diddy got on his knees and tested Clive's mic. It was even claimed that Diddy was in a full-on relationship with Davis.
What
Allegations
the
that
fuck?
were essentially validated when Davis revealed he was bi in his own memoir. Clive admitted he had secretly been in relationships with men in the industry for years.
So Diddy was just popping that asshole around just to get that fucking spot. He like, yo, I want to be the gatekeeper of hip hop. I want to be the main guy. Like, I'm gonna jump in everybody's videos and all that. You know what I'm saying? Tekashi 6ix9ine changed the world with his public snitching. Yeah, I agree. But then it's like people at the same time tried to play him for that same shit, but then everybody started doing it. Like even down to Young Thug.
But in the 1970s,
Gunna,
he hooked
Young
up with a
Thug,
man for the first time,
all them
and it provided
motherfuckers
him
is
welcome
snitches.
relief. He also writes that he secretly dated a man from the 1990s to around 2004, which just so happens to be around the same time he began working with Diddy, suggesting Puff Daddy was that lover. This
What?
to many confirmed the secret that everyone knew in the industry. Diddy was allegedly Clive's lover, and that's how he managed to make it to the top of the music industry. One person who alleged this publicly was no other than Suge Knight. Now, I know Suge Knight is not the most reliable, unbiased source when it comes to Diddy, but
Double
he
tap that
claims
screen,
another
y'all.
industry executive, Jimmy
you
Iovine,
on the wide
told him
screen,
directly that
smash
Diddy
that like
and
button.
Clive were actually lovers. Considering that Jimmy Iovine never denied the allegations, you can see why people think it's true. Suge Knight also claimed that in the industry, this activity was a hazing tradition for industry gatekeepers, claiming that it was passed down from generation to generation, with Davis allegedly doing it to Diddy, who went on to do it to others like Usher and Lil Rod.
I walked in Jimmy's office. I didn't have to knock on the door or get somebody to let Jimmy know Mr. Knight there. Walk right in. He do the same. Anyway, when he walked in my office, we was having a conversation. He overheard somebody say something he probably shouldn't have heard. He wanted to holler at me. So I said, homies, give me a minute. Jimmy said, man, I'm here because Clive Davis called me, and him and Puffy is real tight, and, love us. So I thought he was talking like they got love for each other.
Like much love type shit, but no, this was more than that. This was fucking booty hole lovers. Like, ew, bro. Diddy must have been the one that was giving that ass up a lot often, bro. And like to get to where he needed to, and then when he finally got there, he's like, man, I'm taking everybody fucking butt. I don't give a fuck. And y'all can fuck my bitch. Like, I don't give a fuck. Do what y'all want. I don't care. I'm a disgusting human being. Like, golly. I feel like it's only snitching if you're telling to get yourself out of trouble. It's not snitching to do the right thing and put some of these criminals in jail. Facts. I agree with that, Greg. No lie.
All right. He said, yeah, they are lovers. I said, well, why you keep saying that? I said, look, you saying they lovers like they're sucking? He said, I don't want to say that, but that's what it means, right? I said, okay. He said, Clive don't want that to happen to Puff. He said, but this guy ain't going to be able to do his business because we know what he did.
Is Diddy at a level of being untouchable where he's protected, or is Diddy a target that they'll eventually put all the blame on him and make sure they get away with it free?
That could be true too. They could be putting this shit all on Diddy so that it don't fall on them. They probably told them like, go raid that fucking houses, do all this shit you gotta do. Like, I mean, they probably put the narrative out there on the internet too. So this came from PBD interview. Yeah, I can hear his voice in it.
I mean, he's definitely going to be the black motherfucker holding the bag. You got to realize one thing. That boy life is dangerous. His life isn't, he's just not dangerous with the shit they said he's doing, but he's in danger.
That's crazy. Shit, It's only snitching if you're involved in street activities. If you're a civilian, technically you can't snitch. It's corrupt. That's real shit. That is real shit. I ain't even think about that. Diddy like it in the ass. He must love person. LOL. Man, we just looked at a video. He looked like he was enjoying it. It didn't look like he was upset. He was growing a lot of grades and shit. But I'm pretty sure he is enjoying that shit. I ain't gonna lie.
And if he gets to run his mouth, it could be a bad look. Number one was Clive Davis.
What Suge Knight is saying is true. It would not only confirm
Number
the
one,
allegations
Clive
about
Davis.
Diddy and Clive, but it would also explain where Diddy learned a lot of what he does. Diddy started using his power to make people compromise themselves because allegedly, Clive did it to him first. Diddy isn't the first monster in the industry. He's just one of the few they chose to throw on the sword and blame everything on. Instead of acknowledging that the industry as a whole has this problem, they pin it all on Diddy, making it seem like he was the sole person behind all of it. But the truth of the matter is, Clive Davis was worse than Diddy and showed.
Damn, he said Clive Davis was worse than Diddy, but we'll never know that because they all pinned that shit on Diddy himself. If a civilian gets in trouble, then snitching on a street activity to get themselves out of trouble is still snitching. Basically, if you tell, regardless, it's still snitching. Like, if you involved in that shit, then yeah, if you're in trouble with the situation of them people, then yeah, you definitely is the problem and you are snitching because you shouldn't have had yourself involved in that. So that is kind of true. But if you snitching on some shit where it's like you seen somebody break into somebody's crib or whatever, that's not snitching, bro. You know what I'm saying? You never know what could happen. Knew from the minute Tupac and Biggie were murdered, he did it. Only made sense. Yeah, it was jealousy, envy, you know? Biggie didn't really want to even go to LA, man. He forced him to go there because he's like, bro, this shit is gonna pay off. This shit is gonna die. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, man. It sounds very sticky. And if I'm humble weed dealer and I tell a murderer to do the right thing, it's not snitching.
Showed them more than just how to make people
Tupac
compromise
was the man,
themselves for
man,
an
for real.
opportunity.
And
The more
Biggie.
I looked into Clive Davis,
Even though Biggie used to have a lot of that gay shit in me. She's so fucking bad, I'll suck your daddy dick or some weird shit like that.
the more I noticed similarities between him and Diddy. A lot of things Diddy became known for seems to have come directly from his mentor Clive. Just like Diddy, Clive was known for his predatory business practices, robbing most of his artists blind. He was also known for using illegal substances to convince people to bend to his will, stealing money from his own record label, and being allegedly connected to drug trafficking. With the worst of all of the allegations, being accused of masterminding the demise of many of his own artists. Today, let's examine these allegations made against Clive.
Unforgivable sins. I understand what you're trying to say, but saying Tupac was a total package was a little freaky. If they know about enough street activity to snitch the way out, then they are not living a civilian lifestyle. That's facts.
So we can see the obvious similarities between him and Diddy. Let's start with one of the biggest scandals of his career, the Drugola scandal. In 1973, Clive Davis was abruptly fired as president of the CBS Record Group amidst a wide-ranging
Why?
federal investigation into payola and drugola, providing drugs to artists and DJs for industry favors or radio play. Immediately following his dismissal, CBS Records filed a civil lawsuit against Davis, alleging $94,000 in expense account violations over his 6-year tenure. These alleged violations included using $54,000 of company funds for redecorating his own Manhattan apartment, another $20,000 for a bar mitzvah for his own son at the Plaza Hotel, with another $13,000 for a summer house rental in Beverly Hills. Davis's firing began with the investigation into David Winshaw, Columbia's vice president of artist relations. Winshaw's investigation began in February 1973 when
God
federal
damn.
authorities in Newark, New Jersey busted a drug ring that included reputed mafia figure Pasquale Pasti Falcone. Winshaw's name and papers were found amongst Falcone's effects, leading investigators to focus on activities at Columbia Records.
This shit is getting real.
19 individuals and 6 corporations
Clive
were
Davis.
charged with criminal offenses. 3 record company presidents were indicted, including Clive Davis, former president of CBS Records. Davis was charged with filing false income tax returns over a 3-year period. David Winshaw, another former top executive at CBS Records, was charged along with Pat Falcone, an alleged mafia figure, with defrauding CBS of more than $75,000 by setting up phony companies to be paid by CBS. Record industry officials said today they did not feel that the indictments reflected typical behavior in the business. They said the majority of their personnel were honest.
Winshaw cooperated with federal prosecutors after his dismissal from CBS in May 1973. He reportedly detailed how Columbia Records had a practice of setting aside funds, at least $250,000, for promotional purposes, which included gifts of drugs, referred to as drugola, and cash to radio DJs, particularly at black-oriented stations, to ensure their records received airplay. Winshaw was also linked to efforts to obtain protection for CBS recording stars from Anthony Fat Tony Salerno, another reputed mafia boss, through his connections with the Falcones. Winshaw allegedly, on orders of Clive Davis, had engaged in fraudulent invoicing and forging documents, arranging kickbacks on personal projects, some of which were directly connected to Davis's personal expenses, such as the bar mitzvah and the home renovations. Winshaw facilitated the fraudulent paperwork that allowed Davis to misuse corporate funds. Winshaw was known in the industry for acquiring entertainment, including drugs and escorts, for record executives and artists to secure industry favors and airplay, with Winshaw being directly accused of doing this with Clive. Industry insiders quoted anonymously in the New York Times and Rolling Stones described an unnamed high-level executive, widely
Said Trump just posted ICE at all airports. Thank you, President Trump. Shit. That's what's up, Vince. This was like recently he just said that. Larry, what's going on? David sold us out for real. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Now when I'm going back to this, it's starting to make sense. It definitely was the sellout. He probably was the one that put this shit all on Diddy. Like, fuck it. Like, we need somebody to fall back on. Put it on him.
believed to be Winshaw as the house pimp or Dr. Feelgood, who acquired 6 broads or 8 bags for artists and executives. Winshaw was known as the one, the go-to guy if you needed anything, and the guy who made things happen. Clive was close with Winshaw and allegedly used his services to further his own career. A Rolling Stone article from 1973 makes the claim that Davis was not only linked to a drug trafficking operation through Winshaw, but was also the one authorizing the payola and drugola. Essentially, Winshaw was setting up what we now know as freak-off parties for Clive and other executives, providing them with substances and women, and even booking hotels for these parties. He would also provide DJs with money or drugs so they can play their music on the radio. He would then bill all of these expenses to the record label.
This shit started from time. You wouldn't even have believed it, but this shit's always been like this.
As if they were all regular business expenses. This seems to be where Diddy got the blueprint to do what he would go on to do. Just like Diddy, Clive was connected to criminal activities and also had a person who would organize his wild parties with escorts. Just like Diddy, he used substances to get what he wanted from people in the industry. This is where Diddy learned this behavior, and this is who taught him. Clive was also who taught Diddy how to rob his artists blind. Over the years, Clive Davis has been accused by many artists of robbing them blind. Some of these artists that called them out was the group TLC. In October 1989, TLC signed a deal with Clive's label Arista Records. Davis formed a partnership with R&B producer L.A. Reid and Babyface in 1989 to create LaFace Records, which would house TLC. Just a few short years later, TLC would publicly go to war with their label, accusing them of locking them into predatory record contracts. TLC, being led by Lisa Left Eye Lopez, first publicly called out Clive Davis in the mid-1990s after their multi-platinum album Crazy Sexy Cool was released. The conflict arose because despite the album generating approximately $75 million for their record company, the members reported only receiving about $50,000 each, forcing the group to file for bankruptcy while having a top-selling album.
Damn, only 50s. That's only 150,000 each. What the fuck? Clive was out here robbing motherfuckers from time then. That shit crazy. Eyewitness testimony goes a long way in court. I can live on the street and have tons of street activities that I watch but not participate in. That's true. That's facts. That is facts. You could be a homeless person. You could be a crackhead. You could see street activity and still not be participating in it. Bean, what's going on? You copped on this joint as Deshaun J. What, you about to change over your life? God damn. Thought you would have came on as OVM, keeping it buck. And he came on his joint as Deshaun J. What's going on, bro? How you been? Hope all is well with you. Hope you having a good holiday time, you know what I'm saying? A peace.
Each, forcing the group to file for bankruptcy while having a top-selling album.
Is everything going like you want? Is everything going like we want, the track of our career?
No.
I can say this, everything's not going the way we so-called quote-unquote would want it to be or how it should be, but regardless, we're not going to let anybody hold us down. This proves it. We've done good regardless to all the problems. We'll be going on tour.
Your manager's
That's okay, we're straight. We're going to talk.
Go ahead.
And they can't do anything about eyewitness without proof of a crime. Damn. Y'all both going at it in the fucking jail. Yeah, y'all both got good points. I ain't even gonna lie. I watched the Netflix docuseries. Diddy paid someone to mirror 100 and recall offhand and they were performing opening acts. Yeah, I seen that too. I watched it. Your manager's like sitting in here with 30 looks.
You said your career is not exactly what you would have wanted it to be, but this proves it. What's not on?
Step on up.
I'll tell it. We're not going to sugarcoat anything anymore. We've been quiet long enough. Can I get an amen? All right.
Amen, girl.
All right. Well, I'll put it to you this way. We are the biggest selling female group ever. 10 million.
Look at Lisa Left Eye. She batted in a motherfucker, like, without even trying. Resting bitch face and all. Like, damn.
Million albums worldwide. We have worked very hard. We have been in this business for 5 years. And we are broke as broke can be, and we're not like trying to be a sad story. If that was the case, we would have been on everybody's talk show talking about how broke we are. We haven't done that. I know it's hard to believe because we've sold so many albums, but it is. That's the deal here. So, and we're not happy at all. But for real, tonight, this is all. We wanted to win a Grammy, at least one, and we won 2, and that proves that we are the jam.
This happened because Arista had tricked them into signing an extremely bad record deal. The record contract was written to make sure the group received an initial royalty rate of just 7% per album sold, which was significantly lower than the industry standard for new artists, typically 11% to 15%. Frustrated by the realization they had been duped, the group confronted Davis, who was the president of Arista Records at the time, to demand the money they felt they were owed. After their demands and questions were ignored, eventually members of TLC showed up to Clive's office and confronted him. They reportedly interrupted a private one-on-one meeting Diddy was having with Clive, and physically guarded the doors, demanded their money, and confiscated all of their own platinum plaques and awards from the walls.
Like, you're not about to have all this money.
Davis, we held them hostage like guns, the whole shebang. Yeah, it was like that.
Wait a minute, I want to make sure we understand.
Yes.
Guns
with bullets.
Come on, give me the story,
I'm going to tell you because TLC had generated on Crazy Sexy Cool $75 million, and they gave us $50,000 a piece. So I was like, what the hell? So, of course, Lisa was the ringleader.
Like, we need to go get our money. I need to know where my MFN money's at.
So, you know, she was locked up in the diversion center for burning down the house. And she was just like, okay, we gonna get LaFace and them girls I was locked up with, we gonna drive up there, we gonna take the guns. And then we had this limo driver.
Wait, she just got out of jail?
Yes.
Okay.
And we had the limo driver, and he was the getaway car. So we went up there and held everybody hostage, and Puffy was the one that snitched us out. B, your girl's up here mad bug.
See, that's an eyewitness, somebody snitching. That's snitching right there. Diddy right there, automatic snitch. Automatically, like, I mean, he ain't have to be dealing with them or nothing. He just snitched on them because he felt like if I get up on them right now and be the one that's coming at, they gonna have no choice.
And Puffy was the one that snitched us out. Yo, B, yo, your girl's up here mad bugging. And I was like, Puff, why you gonna snitch us out, dog? But he called it, yeah, because we kicked him out of the meeting.
Well, wait a minute. Puffy, mind your damn business. Okay, go ahead, son.
Oh my God. But it was rude. We interrupted Puffy's meeting, you know, and he was having a meeting, and Puff was like, I'm sorry, but we really got to handle this, dog. We need to know where this money at. You know, because we were getting...
Damn. Angie Stone, R.I.P.
Claiming her contract obligations on the label side were purposely ignored in order to put the spotlight on another artist, Kelly Clarkson. The artist Sly Stone had similar allegations as well, accusing Clive Davis of ruining his career and robbing him of his potential for success by freezing his royalties to force him to deliver new album tapes in the early 1970s. The list goes on with many artists like Prince, Aerosmith, and even Kelly Clarkson calling out Clive Davis for destroying or robbing their career. Now we know who taught Diddy how to rob all his talent. It was techniques taught to him by Clive Davis. But the worst thing Clive Davis seems to have taught Diddy is what to do with artists that become a problem. Now, these are only allegations and speculations, as there isn't enough undeniable evidence that Clive was behind any of it. But in my opinion, I believe these allegations are likely true. Many people believe that Clive has been behind the death of a few artists who created problems for him, like we saw with TLC. Strange enough, after Lisa from TLC led a war against Clive and his record label, she died in a freak accident while in Honduras. On April 25, 2002,
R.I.P. Lisa Lopez. Bad as shit, girl.
Lisa rented an SUV in which she ended up dying in. She swerved to avoid an oncoming vehicle and rolled over several times after hitting 2 trees. Lopez was the only person fatally injured in the crash and died instantly from severe head.
Wasn't she out there with Dr. Sebi too? Am I mistaken, y'all? I don't want to interrupt y'all conversation about fucking eyewitness testimonies and shit.
Neck injuries. Till this day, many people believe this tragedy wasn't at all an accident, believing it was Clive Davis who got rid of Lisa for trying to expose him just a few years back. While we might not have concrete proof that Clive was behind this, the online speculation is not hard to believe, as the music industry is known for their shady tactics. Like I said earlier, Clive was connected to the literal mob. A man with that much power could make problems go away, just like Lisa went away. Another person Clive is accused of getting rid of was no other than his biggest artist, Whitney Houston. On February 11, 2012, legendary singer Whitney Houston was found unresponsive.
Man, yeah, Diddy got all his tactics from Clive, bruh. Diddy got all his tactics from Clive Davis. Hold on, let me check the stream. Sometimes that shit'll be said.
In her hotel bathroom. She had sadly drowned, passing away at the age of 48, leaving her family and fans devastated. At first, the cause of her passing wasn't revealed.
Only at 38?
Leaving her family and fans devastated. She had sadly drowned, passing away at the age of 48, leaving her family and fans devastated. At first, the cause of her passing wasn't revealed, but eventually it was confirmed.
Almighty Vez, what's up with the subscription? Welcome to the motherfucking channel. I don't know why it didn't pop up. I don't know what's wrong with that shit. Mini-Me popped up. That was yesterday's. My shit is fucked. Almighty Vaz with the subscription. Appreciate you for subscribing, man. Welcome to the motherfucking channel.
Confirmed to be accidental, caused by her substance abuse. Fans were left with so many questions regarding this mysterious passing. Even more questions rose when the whole story of the incident was reported. According to many reports, days before the incident, Whitney was acting unlike herself and seemed rather.
Now I just want to keep popping up now over and over again. Like, what's up? All right, we get it. We get it. Almighty Vaz, thank you for the subscription. Hello, I got to get back to work. Hello, but appreciate the conversation watching. Nah, that was definitely a great conversation. Y'all had a good conversation in there. I ain't gonna lie. All right, pause, bro. I'm about to pause the queue at this point. Maybe keep subbing and subscribing to mess with you. Probably. I just muted that shit, though.
Were at the Hiltons at Beverly Hills in preparation for Clive's pre-Grammy party he was known for hosting. A video of this instance is still floating online to this day, showing a moment that many people still question to this very day. When Whitney walked up to Brandy, whispered something to her, and handed her something. Still to this day, people wonder what was that about. At the time, Whitney just so happened to be staying at the same hotel where this interview was taking place, and it's where she was found dead just 2 days later. Ever since she passed away, rumors
at the same place that he got interviewed
have been circulating online, claiming that Whitney was set up by her own label, with Clive Davis allegedly being behind it all. It was alleged that Clive and Whitney weren't on great terms before she passed. Whitney was allegedly dealing with a serious substance problem, which led to her slowly decaying in front of the world. She was slowly destroying her legacy, which in all honesty belonged to Clive Davis, as he owned her rights. People believe Clive had Whitney removed from the picture as she was destroying everything she had built. He might have realized she was more profitable dead than alive. There are some stories that claim Whitney didn't accidentally drown but was made to. And according to a private investigator who looked into the situation, that's exactly what happened. This PI claims there's evidence suggesting Whitney was taken out. He believes that several drug dealers went to Whitney's room before she died, as they were sent by their boss to collect money from Whitney. Investigator Paul Hubel claims that he has proof Whitney was killed and has even turned it into the FBI. Wow. Paul claimed he was told by his sources at the hotel that footage existed depicting two men entering Whitney's room at around 2:45.
No, this is not the Epstein documentary. This is just Clive Davis, how he turned Diddy into a monster. So it's kind of the backstory on Clive Davis.
PM on the day she died. He believes they were the ones who put Whitney in the bath.
I lost 50.
This fucking crazy, man.
He claims that the evidence for the alleged struggle lied in the coroner's report. The coroner, for instance, noted that a large area of skin on Houston's lower back was burnt off, so-called skin slippage by the hot bath water. The water was so hot that 6 hours after she died, it was still 93 degrees. He claimed that even if she was on substances, she wouldn't willingly get into a bath that hot. He believes she obviously had help. Paul also claimed that Houston had injuries on her forearms and hands that are consistent with her having a pretty nasty struggle and with classic defense wounds. This PI, who was a former police officer, believes Whitney was taken out, and I agree with him. Now, considering that Clive Davis was previously connected to the mob and drug traffickers, I believe it wouldn't be far-fetched if those dealers this PI is talking about were sent by Clive Davis to get rid of her. Considering what Clive Davis did after Whitney died, it all seems even more believable. It has been largely reported by many people that Clive Davis allegedly gave orders to keep Whitney's body inside of the room so that he could proceed to do his pre-Grammy party. With it being reported that
pre-Grammy party, yeah, he learned from the worst.
Clive Davis hosted,
you know how they say you learn from the worst,
the pre-Grammy party and was partying downstairs in the same hotel that Whitney's body was laying in. Instead of ending the party and showing that he actually cared about Whitney's death, he continued the party and had a blast celebrating with the entire music industry. That is not the actions of someone who is grieving the loss of someone close to them. Instead, it shows us a man who was celebrating what he likely wanted. Isn't it quite interesting that Clive was accused of giving substances to his artists? Then, one of his biggest artists just so happens to develop a horrible addiction problem. While there isn't 100% proof Clive was behind her death, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Just like
all assumptions. I mean, none of this is us saying it's true.
Diddy was likely behind Kim Porter's death, and it hasn't been proven yet either. As you can see, Clive Davis was the monster who made Diddy. He was the one who showed them the industry ways. But even calling Clive Davis the start of the problem would be wrong, as Clive was just doing what he was taught, and that person that taught Clive was only doing what they were taught by someone higher up. The point is, this isn't just actions of a few. It is how the music industry as a whole operates. This is the system the elite behind the industry created. A system that takes advantage of the artists in every way in order to exploit them. While taking down Diddy and exposing him is great, it is just a start. We must keep that same energy for all the rest of the monsters in the industry. Trust me, there's a lot of them out there. All of them deserve to be exposed. Well, I'm gonna end this one here. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this Christmas setup, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. I'll catch you next time. Uh-oh. We'll fix that. Merry Christmas.